The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Tonight in Chicago, OG Anunoby with the defense. Chicago scored only 21 fourth-quarter points. Karl Anthony Towns, 11 of his 28 in the fourth quarter. He hit 5 threes. And Mikal Bridges with the Knicks up by 3. 27 seconds to go. Hits the clinching three. And the Knicks prevail over those pesky Bulls, 105-99. Great to have you with us, everyone. From our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pidto, Alan Hahn, and Wally Szczerbiak. Alan, maybe a little bit tougher than anticipated, but as Wally always says, a win is a win as a win. Oof. Knicks were actually down 1 with about 2:30 to go, but they outscored the Bulls 11-4 down the stretch to win it.
Yeah, took care of business. That's the most important thing. And that just was tough coming out of the break when you have 3 and 4 nights in a back-to-back like they did, and they got 2 wins out of it. So you accomplished that. But I wonder, Wally, if we'll look back at this time and say this is the time of the season where Karl Anthony Towns started to figure it out. Maybe that's what you can look at this weekend and see if he can build from here.
Big positive. 5 threes. You know, he's made 6 threes one other time this season. So if he can calibrate that three-point shot, that just opens up the offense for the Knicks, opens up driving lanes in so many different ways. It's a good win. You know, Knicks were tired after an emotional game last night, a big comeback. This Chicago Bulls team, you don't know what they're doing, what they're playing for, but they played hard for most of the game. And it was a one-possession game down the stretch, and the Knicks found a way to have the clutch gene again and figure out a way to get a win.
Had the emotional win last night. Knicks had a tough travel sequence getting in Chicago, not a lot of sleep. So maybe they didn't have their full legs, but they were able to pull it out in the fourth quarter. It was a low-scoring fourth quarter, as I alluded to off the top. The Knicks 22 in the fourth quarter. Bulls only had 21, but that was good enough to win the game.
Yeah, and again, it was all about defense. That's what we've been talking about with this team the last couple of nights, starting the fourth quarter with that defensive effort. Colin Sexton didn't play a ton of this game, but in the fourth quarter, he stepped in the game, and he's like, if you're going to give the game away, I'll take it.
Only played 12 minutes.
Yeah, speaking of take it, Towns hits one right there, an easy catch and shoot, top of the key. He loves those shots to walk into them. And that's really, to me, what started getting him going. But
4-point game.
Colin Sexton was going to put as much pressure on the Knicks as he possibly could.
And Buzelis, he knocks down that 3. And this was getting hairy at this point.
Now they're up 1 on that,
yes.
I believe, right?
They took the 1-point lead. OG Anunoby, incredible block from behind. And to block it, not only block it, but then also recover it. And this was the big shot. Gave the Knicks the 2-point lead.
This started 6 straight points for Karl Anthony Towns. Gave him a lead and then maintained the lead.
Yep. And then Towns sets up that drive with the up fake, gets the finger roll, and the Knicks starting to roll. And the defense was good. That's
great pass.
And there it is. We got a bang from Mike Breen. Bridges had a little bit of a, well, he had a rough shooting night most of the night, but made the big shot. And sometimes that can propel you as a player when you make that huge shot into the next couple games, into the next couple weeks, kind of finding your stroke, finding your confidence.
And you saw there, too, you talk about struggling with the shooting. Jalen Brunson, 7 of 19, but that was his 9th assist. So finding other ways that he can impact winning. And that was a big pass and a big bucket to hold off the Bulls.
So last night, Cat with 25 points. Tonight, 28 points.
Yep.
And when we did the Detroit postgame the other night, Wally, you talked about how important it is for Cat to hit his 3. You just alluded to the fact that 5 made threes, second highest total in any single game this year. Why is it so important for him to hit the 3?
Well, if he does,
for his overall game,
it's important for his game and the Knicks game, because if he doesn't hit the threes and he starts just rumbling, bumbling, stumbling to the basket, just driving straight into defenders, the lane is clogged and there's no room to operate. But when he pulls the 5-man, Richards is a good shot blocker, when he pulls him out to the 3-point line, then when OG drives, when Brunson drives, there isn't rim protection. And that's the biggest thing that you forget about Karl Anthony Towns. He makes the game so much easier for perimeter players to drive their defender, get paint touches, spray it out to open 3-point shooters, because when he's making those threes especially, you can't leave him at the 3-point line.
So they've been playing off of him.
Yes,
more
it's
so
like playing 5 out. When you play 5 out and there's no rim protector, it makes the game so much easier on offense.
All right, guys, let us bring in Monica McNutt. She's in Chicago. She'll call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. How you doing, Monica? What do you think about tonight?
Well, on the radio, I coined the phrase for tonight, the Shaq Cat game, because I think tonight was the type of performance that Shaquille O'Neal, the great, was talking about last night in the clip that has been much discussed amongst Knicks Nation as he was encouraging Karl-Anthony Towns. But I love it. I mean, the rebounding was fantastic. The aggressiveness. I liked the decisive decision-making when he was taking guys to the rim in that first half in particular. And then obviously the three-point ball gets going. And Tyler and I actually looked at it. And he came up short of 30, I understand. But we haven't seen a 30-point performance from Karl-Anthony Towns since Atlanta, the game after Christmas Day. So I thought this was a great reminder of how important he is and who he can be for this team.
All right, guys, tonight's thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. We're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns and his complete game. Got off to an excellent start again tonight, Alan, and that seems to be really important for him. It was the case last night,
right,
and it was the case again tonight.
Right, and he was aggressive. You see the reaction there, too. Now, he's frustrated with some of the non-calls that he's getting, but you're seeing, I like what Monica said, the decisiveness, where he's not hesitating about anything that he's doing. He's just going for it, especially that quick release from downtown. That might have got him into a rhythm because 5 of 9 tonight, 3 of 3 from downtown last night. So you're talking about an 8 of 12 weekend for him from three-point range, where we know he's been below his standard from three-point range. Again, well, I can get him going.
Maybe a little thank you to Shaq for getting him going, a little motivation.
Be dominant every night.
And doing it against a fellow Kentucky Wildcat. He loves to go up against those other Wildcats and Nick Richards. He seems to get a little bit of extra to show that he's the top cat, so to speak, coming out of Kentucky.
I see what you did there.
Top cat. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's sharp tonight.
Wow. All right, Wally. Monica, Jalen Brunson, we talked about him maybe not scoring as much as normal, but 9 assists, and the key assists there down the stretch to Mikal Bridges were the key 3 that iced the game.
That was a big win. And look, guys, and Wally, Hahn, Pidto, you've been around long enough to know this. I do believe, and we all have seen, that the game does sort of dictate what you need. And we are not saying that every night a guy has to have X line. Yes, players have come to have expectations and to have roles on this team. But I do think the phrase that I think of from a coach was to be selfish in a team way, right? Like tonight, and even we saw it last night, it took the fourth quarter before Jalen Brunson got into his scoring bag. But when he did, it was huge and important. Tonight, those 9 assists, the rest of his teammates were going. Like, you got to understand your role on any given night, and I thought Jalen Brunson did a really good job of that. The thing that I was watching, though, too, y'all, was those defensive lineups late. Same kind of thing that we saw versus the Rockets. This was a team that was getting up and down the floor, and it required a level up and focus late in that fourth quarter to make sure that the Knicks came up with the necessary stops.
Yeah, and, you know, tonight Mike Brown closed with his starters. He liked the way they were playing. He liked those matchups. And I remember playing for him. You know, he just does the right coaching move no matter what. It might hurt your feelings every once in a while as a player, and you can't let it, but it is for the betterment of the team. He's always doing what he feels is going to help this team win, and he's going to use certain situations to establish that everyone is going to be held to a standard here of high level of play, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
On the defensive end, like Monica was alluding to, this Bulls team normally gives this system they play, the way they play with Billy Donovan, is really up and down. They don't really run an offense. They do a lot of just downhill, either kick out or downhill, and they draw defense. And that's tough for the Knicks to defend because it's high tempo. And you had to be locked in the late show up in Chicago late after last night's game to lock yourself back into that first half. What we saw in that second half was them holding this team to 46 points. This is a team that scored 137 points on them earlier this season. So you know they can get points. It's their defense that's been their problem all year. But they locked in the second half defensively, and that also is a sign of a team that's starting to understand where they are right now.
Guys, we got to talk about Landry Shamet. Monica, 16 more points for Shamet off the bench in his last 5 games. He's averaging a touch over 14 points per game.
Yeah, and I asked him, well, I didn't quite say it as eloquently as I could have. I was like, dude, what's going on with you as of late? And he said, you know, this is a team that has continued to grow. And for himself, he's just playing good basketball. He said that this is fun. But I do think, guys, as he continues to get back to his healthiest version of himself, for a guy that's a shooter, a shoulder injury is a big thing. And not just a shooter, but a guy that takes pride in how he defends at the point of attack, like colliding with screens. A shoulder injury is a big thing. So as he's coming back into form, and Mike Brown's confidence and his teammates, quite frankly, the confidence continues to grow into that. He has responded in kind in terms of making the most out of these big moments.
He's been outstanding. And what's so impressive about him is he's not content with just making 1 or 2 shots off the bench. Like, he's getting up to 15, 20 points per game off the bench. He just continues to attack, to be aggressive, never hesitates. I mean, he has a quick release. When he has an open shot, he makes a quick decision. And that's exactly what the coaching staff wants him to do, and they want everyone to do it. If you have the shot, take it or make a play, get off the ball, move the ball. He's just playing the perfect role right now coming off that bench.
Yeah, supporting cast player. And he's a high IQ player, so he understands like how to do that, where to be, what to expect. And as Monica pointed out, too, the way he gets skinny on screens, the way he fights through screens, even with the idea of you worry about your shoulder. He doesn't worry about his shoulder. He worries about staying on his man and not giving him an inch so he can get into some rhythm. He's so versatile defensively, and that ability to shoot the 3 to space, that's what makes him so valuable and why Mike Brown, late in the game, will go with him. He's in the trust tree. I know what I'm getting out of you in certain situations, and I can believe in putting you out there in winning moments.
All right, Monica, you want a weather update?
Sure. Tell me what's going on.
It's cold.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lots.
Well, you guys be safe.
We're getting
Hahn's use of the
emergency
trust
stuff on our
tree.
phones.
Oh my gosh. I think we need to also come up with a team thesaurus of all of our cute little phrases. Trust tree, and we got Shaq Cat tonight.
No, he's in the he's in the nest. He's in the trust tree. Right.
I love
Circle
it.
of trust.
The circle of trust.
Well,
See, Wally gets it.
You
Monica
guys
has
be,
homework. He has a
get
movie
it
to
too.
watch.
I get it too. Well, listen, you guys be in the trust snowplow and get home safely, okay?
All right, Monica, and have a safe trip to Cleveland. We'll talk to you on Tuesday night, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Mike Brown's Knicks prevail. Good enough tonight to beat the Bulls 105-99. Knicks now 37-21. We'll hear from the Knicks coach coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
How about that Michael Jordan statue? But the team he used to play for, beaten by the Knicks 105-99 over the Wally wall now with Allen and Wally, guys.
A lot of debate about who it is he's dunking on in that statue. When you walk by it, it has New York written on the jersey. That is a true story for anybody that goes to Chicago. Check it out. Meanwhile, you want to check out a Knicks win and how they got there. Well, the three-point shot from Landry Shamet was a big part of it early. 3 of his 4 three-pointers were hit in that first half. We're going to show you one that tied the game late.
Yeah, and this is an example of getting a paint touch in a different way than dribble penetration. This is a good job by Josh Hart. Frees it there. There's the double team on Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart doesn't want to just kind of fade open for the 3, so he cuts into the paint, catches the ball down low, and this is a good job of just knowing how to make a play and make things happen. You're going to break down the defense. Paint touch, freeze it there. When he gets it, the defense is coming in to converge and help. There's Landry Shamet. This was a big shot that finally got the Knicks tied in the first half when they were mostly down 6-8 most of the game. Kicks it out. Look at, that's what I was talking about. Look at how quick he releases. He starts to get his feet, his puppies organized, like Bill Raftery likes to say, get his feet organized so when he catches it, he's already square and ready to shoot it and knocks down that triple. That's a quick release and a tough shot to defend.
When you say square, too, when his release is always consistent, he's got a really good shooting form. Okay, so there was a push. The Knicks had a lead, but then all of a sudden the Bulls come back. They get it to 5. After the Knicks get a 2 5-point lead after Karl-Anthony Towns goes on a run by himself. But now it's 3, so you need to answer. Here's Jalen Brunson with a great assist to Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, you know it's a snowmageddon night when you get a bang out of Mike Breen, too, on a Sunday night when there's nothing else to do than watch the Knicks. Here comes Brunson, gets in the lane, now frees it there. This is awesome. Look at the whole defense converging. Now, this is good defense by Giddey because he's got to watch out for Towns, and that leads the open shot for Bridges in the corner. Giddey has to come down here and protect from the pocket pass. Brunson playing off 2 feet. He jump stops, so he has options. And when Giddey comes in, Brunson goes out, and that's too short of a closeout. That's too long of a closeout for Giddey to get out to Bridges. And this is great to see Bridges knock down this shot. On a night where you're struggling, you still keep yourself mentally in the game to the point where you hit the dagger, you get a bang from Mike Breen. That completely makes it a much better night for you and your team. You get a win, you get the game-winning shot. Good for Bridges knocking that one down.
Yeah, night ago, Jalen Brunson was the one making the shots in clutch time. In this performance, he was making the assist for a big clutch shot from Mikal Bridges. Thoughts on tonight's win from Mike Brown, presented by Chase.
Especially getting in late. last night from the late game in New York. Our guys just found a way. I thought defensively in the second half, there was a little bit more of a pop to us. In the first half, you could tell watching us play, we were flat on both ends of the ball, offensively and defensively. And for us to respond the way that we need to respond, especially on the defensive end in the second half, was big. Cat, heck of a game for us. He got a double-double. Not only did he get a double-double, he was great for us defensively. He actually was our defensive player of the game. He had 5 deflections. He had 3 steals, and so he was big, and he obviously hit some timely buckets going down the stretch. Billy's done a good job with this young team. I mean, they get out in transition, and they play fast. They touch the paint quite a bit. Therefore, they're one of the league leaders in points in the paint because of how fast they are and the different number of guys that can handle the ball and get into the paint and make plays. Our guys did a nice job of trying to protect the paint and then trying to get the shooters in the second half, and that was the difference in the ball game.
What you were talking about before the game about guys impacting the game in different ways.
Yes.
I think you had Cat, a couple defensive plays. I think Jalen had a strip in the last couple minutes. OG had one. Just kind of what you saw from those guys.
No, 100%. And that's what has to happen because the ball's not going to go in every night. And so how can you impact the game or how can you help your teammates out? And you can do it on the glass. You can do it defensively. You can do it by running the floor. And some of those little things were done by guys tonight, and that helped us get the win.
That three-pointer by Mikal, was that one of the things you wanted from Jalen? Touch the paint, kick it out?
Yeah, I mean, not only that, they not just Chicago, but everybody's just doubling JB, at least in the last 4 or 5 games. And, it's tough to score on a double team, and if you're getting double, that means somebody's open, and you just got to make the right play. And he did. He made the right play. He baited the double team came, and he kicked it, and Mikal had a wide open 3 and knocked it down, and that's what has to happen. I said this before, the last couple of games, even against Detroit, was our worst game, shooting the ball and wide open 3s, and if they don't go in when they're taking away your best player like that, there's a chance that we could lose if we're not defending, and that tonight that shot went in.
Defensively, you often talk about just making whoever you're playing, their shooters feel you. It felt like in the first half, Chicago was able to step into a few comfortable ones. How much of that is just attention to detail? How much of it is just the urgency? Like you said, you guys got in late. Like, are you seeing it more and more as the season has gone on, or less and less?
It's less and less. We've gotten better, I think, overall defensively in a lot of areas, and I think defending the 3, we've gotten better. But we still have to make sure we continue to close out with a sense of urgency to take away guys' airspace and be the second jumper as they're going into their shot.
You said before the game you wanted to start increasing Landry's minutes, I think, to a certain 20-something. What was it that?
No, what I was saying was we were talking about, Cat and guys' shots and stuff like that. And I just said, we have guys that have increased minutes this year. And so, a guy like Mikal, a guy like Cat, I mean, even OG, Josh, and Jalen, all 5 guys, they're not playing the same minutes that they played last year. And because we've had guys step up. Landry has stepped up and played well. Jose has stepped up and played well. Obviously, Mitch is playing during the regular season this year. And so, when you start going down the line and, you see that guys are playing well, you want to try to find ways to get them in the game. And if you're going to try to find ways to get them in the game, then that's going to mean less minutes for the other guys. And so it's a fine balance. But I said this, Landry tonight he was at 23, so it's great if I can keep him at 23, but I'm not going to always be able to keep him at 23. He played 23. Mikal played 30. And so it's give and take to where if somebody's playing well, we try to keep them on the floor, but that might mean their field goal attempts and their minutes may go down because they're not on the floor as much.
We're back from the Corner 3 presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Alan, what do you have?
Well, from a tweet earlier today for tonight's storm, of course, that everybody's going through. We hope everybody's safe. This is how Wally and I got into the studio, if anybody that's wondering.
There you go.
Okay, well, that's how you made it in. How are you getting home?
I don't know. I'm hanging with you,
No, see,
Pidto.
that's how I'm getting home.
Notice
Guess
I'm
what?
riding high.
Guess what?
Oh, look, Pito's up front.
I am not giving you a ride home. I'm going home on my own. You're stuck
shovel
here.
out of his car and shoveling them out.
Stay safe, everybody. Josh Hart and the Knicks prevail tonight in Chicago by 6.
Don't close the blast doors before we get in.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Prior to the Knicks win tonight, air hockey, Josh Hart and Benny the Bull and Team USA is not the only victorious group on ice. This is a victorious individual, although Josh may have cheated. But I don't know.
No
Benny the
penalty was
Bull's
called.
beaten. Here's Hart after the game in the locker room.
Happy we were able to get the win. Obviously had a great comeback yesterday. So starting to chip off 1-0 feels good.
So OG had a big block that kind of fueled Cat hitting the 3. How much does your defense kind of get your offense going, especially late in games?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously we got guys that can, get stops. Then we can go out and run. We still want to run all game. So obviously an OG, that's one of our guys. So it was good. Good to get Cat obviously involved a little more, and like I said, good for one.
Hart guys, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Wally doing a little bit of everything as always.
Got involved early on. Didn't have a great game a couple games ago, and he's so important to this team when he does everything out there on the floor that. Getting those triple-double like numbers makes a big difference.
Yeah, the 9 rebounds is a big part of what he brings, right? He struggled shooting last night's game. Every night's not going to be your night, but you always find a way that you contribute and find a way to win. And I just love the fact that he did whatever it took to win that air hockey game against Benny the Bull. I mean, that's how you do it.
That's it.
All right. Hey, whatever it takes to win.
Take no for an answer.
Speaking of Benny the Bull, we have more of Benny the Bull. Hit popcorn. Do it, Benny.
I heard this is good popcorn.
Benny, throw the popcorn. We got to go to break. We wrap up the postgame show. The Knicks are next in action on Tuesday at Cleveland. We have the pregame here for you 7, and the game itself at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports App. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free, or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports App. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.